Hi there, and welcome to my cooking cast. Today we're going to make a meal that is Asian fusion. What am I talking about? Oh my gosh, well this is where you sort of blend one country or cuisine with another. And today's cooking class, we are going to go to Mexico. Then we're going to go to Italy, and we're also going to go to Greece, and we're going to put this all together in a cheesy taco pasta. Are you ready for this? So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our saute pan, and in our saute pan, and if you've never seen this pan, oh my gosh, it's absolutely beautiful. It can actually fit into your oven because the stay cool handles, well, they won't stay cool, but they won't burn, they won't melt. This has also got a really nice non-stick coating on it, and you will absolutely love that. So what we're gonna do in here, first off, and of course, kitchen rule, always make sure the handle is pointed away from you in case you happen to bump it or you have little kids around. You guys know that already. So I'm gonna talk about some lean ground, well, this is extra lean ground beef, and it is a little bit more expensive. And why am I using extra lean? Well, because it has less fat. And if you're trying to cut out some of the fat in your diet, extra lean ground beef is where you go. Now, what is the difference between extra lean, medium, and regular? Okay, so the difference is the fat content. So extra lean has 90% meat, only 10% fat. Lean has 83% of the meat, and of course we've got the medium, which is 77%, and regular beef is 70% beef. The rest is fat. So now you know the difference. In my skillet, by the way, I am going to use, this is our meat separator, because you buy it in a big chunk like this, and then you might be using a fork. Instead, I'm just going to use this to break this up quickly, and we're just going to cook this up. Now, I've also got in a pot over on the other side of my stove here, and I'm going to get it in front of me very shortly, is pasta. And I'm cooking this in our 12-cup multi-purpose pot. Not the steamer. No, we're cooking it on the pot. And what I love about that, I'm just gonna let this cook for a minute. Don't you love this? Yeah, meat separator. If you don't already have one, best tool, honestly, in your kitchen, especially if you're using ground beef, ground turkey, ground chicken. Okay, so I have cooked my pasta up already. This is our 12-cup multi-purpose pot. Love it, stay cool handle, measuring graduations. But what I love is it's got a strainer built right in. Do you see that? Fine and medium. And I am literally going to keep the lid on, and I'm just straining out my liquid. And sometimes when you're making pasta, a recipe will actually ask you to put some of your pasta water back in to thin out your sauce. So it's always nice to maybe put a little bit in a 4-cup prep bowl just in case you need it. So you're not diluting it with just plain water, but maybe some more flavorful water. So don't you just love that pot? Did you notice the pouring spout? Yeah, pretty slick. Okay. So get that meat separator over here again. Now, okay, I'm going to use our shears, and we're going to use our taco package. Now, I'm not sure if you buy taco packages in your grocery store right now, but if you do, go read the label, because I'm going to tell you, if you are concerned about what you're putting into your body, you might want to go check out your labels, because I know that some of the taco packages out there are filled, when I say filled with 2 ingredients, salt and cornstarch. They're just fillers and really bad for your kidneys. Ours have way less sodium in it, and what we're going to do is we're just going to sprinkle this package right into our meat. And because it's a dry mix, we are going to need to add a little bit of water. So I'm just going to put our prep bowl here, put a little bit of water in there, and we're going to cook this up. Now, the reason I like doing this, you could do this in the microwave if you prefer, because actually the multi-purpose steamer works really good in the microwave, especially for meat. But we put the liquid and the sauce in there because it will actually absorb right into your meat. And then we're just going to cook this down a little bit. All right. Okay, so my pasta's done. And by the way, you can use any pasta you want. I just had these noodles left over in my kitchen, so it's a little bit of everything. So it doesn't really matter which you have. I probably wouldn't do lasagna noodles unless you want to break them up into bite-sized pieces. Okay, can you see how we've still got chunks? This is why you're going to want to use the meat separator, right? So depending on whether you like your tacos quite chunky or whether you want it more crumble, this is like having so many blades at your fingertips. And already it's cooking up really, really fast. Super easy to clean as well. Okay, so now the other thing that we're going to get going here is we need to get some veggies in here. So I've got a tomato. Roman tomatoes are the ones that I love the most. Because they're not as full of liquid. So I'm just going to use our ceramic knife. And I'm just going to put these into chunks, bite-sized pieces. If you are using, you know, like a hothouse tomato or whatever, you may discover that it's quite liquidy. And so when you're cutting it on your flexible cutting board, you may or may not decide to add all the juice that adds in there. It's totally up to you. Some people actually like scooping out the seeds as well. I'm not fussy. I think it adds flavor. Okay, so I'm using our saute spoon here, part of our kitchen collection. And you can see this nice saucy taco meat coming together really, really well. Just gonna turn my temperature down a little bit here so it doesn't overcook it. And I'm gonna now just start adding my veggies. Of course, this is gonna extend this for a family. I'm also going to put in some red peppers. And I will show you a little kitchen hack that I like using. Is when you chop your red pepper, I like chopping off the top, and then you can just pull off the pieces right around the top, leaving just the stem, right? So you're getting all your value, because red peppers this time of the year can be very expensive. So, I mean, try to use as much as you can so you're not wasting. You might have noticed I did sort of take the white, what will I call it, membrane maybe, of the red pepper. I cut some of that out. And of course, I don't put my seeds in either, so there we go. And if you're wondering how I got these nice little slices, I actually cut around the red pepper, leaving me, of course, the top and the bottom. So here's my bottom piece. See there? And I'm just making these bite-sized pieces. I'm also going to be adding to this meal, because we talked about, you know, having food fusion. I'm going to be putting broccoli. So here we have some broccoli flowerettes, roughly a cup of it. And what you may want to do is just make these smaller chunks. These cook very, very quickly. What I usually like doing when I'm cutting my chunks is quite often I'll go down to the stem. And some of you may be asking, do you use the stem or not? Depending on the pricing at the grocery store, sometimes I buy a whole head of broccoli. Sometimes I'll buy just the head or the flowerettes. because I'm not using the stems. You can totally use the stems, just make sure you clean it up before you start using it. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna use our saute spoon, and I'm just going to crank the heat up a little bit more, and I'm just going to sort of saute these veggies until they're sort of steamed. Talking about a fun dish, hey? And look at how colorful it is. So now you may want to just put a lid on it and let it steam in its juices. Okay, now here's another idea. We're going to be putting some cheese in here, and I'm going to use crumbled feta, right? I did say we were going to go to Greece, so here we go, feta cheese. This is actually in little chunks, but I want to make sure that I have the pieces melting a little bit quicker, so just give this a little chop. And if you notice, I've been getting a lot of use out of my ceramic knife today. If you don't already have one of these, you may want to consider. This is a great purchase as a host gift because it is, well, it's not really expensive. It's not expensive like your really good stainless steel knives, but you're gonna find that you'll love it. Did you see how easy it was for me to cut into the tomato? I mean, if you have a dull knife and cutting in tomatoes, ugh, awful. Okay, so I'm gonna get a plate here. To make this meal perfectly balanced, what you're gonna do is you're gonna add about 2 cups of your salad or greens. So I actually am growing my own greens. So let me grab my little plate here. Slide this over a bit. So I've got my greens already on my plate. I've made my pasta, and we are going to be putting it inside here in just a second. Can you see how this is steaming up? And when you do buy the saute, it does come with the lid. Okay, so my meal, I hope you can see, has really come together quickly. Very, very nice. Now what we want to do is we want to add the cheese and the noodles, and we're just going to toss this around a little bit just so we can get the sauce coating our noodles. And like I said, little bits of everything, right? Little goes a long, long, long way. Don't you love how that multi-purpose pot works so nicely? Just gonna coat this a bit. I'm gonna grab my cheese here. Make sure I get all of it in there. And this is gonna melt. If you don't have feta cheese and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't make this meal, Jacqueline. Yes, you can. Find any cheese you want. And in fact, if you even wanted to maybe add a package of our mac and cheese in here, you totally could. So if you've got that one, our ooey gooey queso, that would be an easy one to do as well. And we're just going to make sure that our noodles are nicely coated. See how easy cooking can be? Nice. So we've got all the flavors. We've got, of course, our veggies. Turn this right off now. And all we're going to do right now is plate it. Honestly, putting a meal on the table. If you thought making a meal for your family was hard, difficult, took a lot of time, I think you can clearly see that making a meal for your family can come together in literally minutes. So guys, here you go again. Make an amazing meal. Grab our meal solutions. Today we use the taco seasoning. And if you want and you like extra flavor, which I totally do, you could put extra onions on here. You could put cilantro on here. If you want to zip it up, you might want to put some poco salsa. But honestly, Epicure just makes your life so darn easy. And if you're struggling to put a meal on the table in literally minutes, please check out Epicure. Did you see how quickly this came together? So thank you so much for watching today. I wish you all the best. And if there's anything I can do to help your meals be made simply in the kitchen, or if you're thinking you want to join this business, which by the way, right now we've got a $25 digital offer where you can just join the business and get started in your own little epicure cooking class, or just share the website with others and collect orders and make some additional money. That is available only till the end of February. So if that's something of interest to you, please reach out to me. Join the team. It is a fun business, and people love to put meals on their dinner plate really, really quick. There you go, guys. All the best. Take care, and thanks for popping in. Bye for now.